Vijay Mallyas coming back in the blogs that the media is talking about that the so-called scams or frauds.
Actually, scams happen everywhere. Now, and this happens because money has actually no color. I think somewhere down the lane, we have forgotten our moral values. Somewhere down the lane, I think we are not working with a very conscious mind. Will have consequences, and truth always prevails. And I think in terms of Vijay Malya, he's been brave enough to come and speak about it that look, I was this, I was not that. In terms of Neerav Modi, only when he comes on a podcast or he's released from jail, we know actually what happened. But the point here is that everything is so high because the digital exposure is so much. Because there is corruption.
Hi Vandana ji, welcome to the Ambition podcast by Vrittvi.
Yeah, hi, good morning, and thank you for having me here.
Yeah, I think it's a pleasure to have like women leaders like you on my show, and the show as it suggests, the Ambition podcast. So yeah, Ambition women all the way.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so Vandana ji, I really wanted to know. Tell us something about Convento and how did you start with Convento and what was your initial ambition behind starting and supporting so many startups, right? So as far as I know, that Convento is all about like funding startups and giving wings to these new people who are really getting there into their entrepreneurial journey. So yeah.
So I had my own fund in Singapore and Jakarta. That was there for 15 years. And when I returned to India, I could see that, many people had good businesses, ideas, but they lacked direction when it came to fundraising and investor readiness. And a lot of founders didn't know how to present their businesses to investors or even, have those conversations, or want to, pursue investments. And since I had worked across international markets and spent, understanding how capital flows and how investor founder relationships work,
Yeah.
I thought, why not put that knowledge to use here? And I didn't want it to create something too big or too fast. I just wanted to work closely with founders and help them get investor ready, make sure that they have the right support at the right time. And also because I was in the finance business for over 15 years, I chose to start Convanto, something which is related to finance only.
Okay.
I did investments until COVID period, and then I went back to advisory totally. And in total, we have helped around 358 companies in 45 countries up till now with fundraisers. We have helped
Quite a number.
Yes. We've helped 358 companies in 45 countries with fundraisers. We have helped 5 VC funds with fundraisers. I myself have given a 350 plus talks. They are listed on my website. I'm the top 10 women leaders in wealth management, Woman Entrepreneur of the Year 2021 2023. World Women Congress has awarded me to be a global woman leader. Hindustan Times, Gurgaon Times, Times of India have already covered me up. And Dr. Kiran Bedi has awarded us to be the best financial institution in supporting startups in India. Then Hema Mani has awarded us to be the pioneering women leaders in investment banking space. Apart from this, on 19th November, which is celebrated as Women Entrepreneurs Day, I've been recognized among the top 8 women entrepreneurs of 2024. And on 2025 International Women's Day, March 8th, I've been recognized among the future women leaders of 2025. So this is the entire 11, 12 years journey of Convanto.
Okay. So, as far as our research says, and your profile also mentions pretty much that Convento has been recognized as the best financial institution for supporting startups in 2022. What do you think sets your approach apart from others in terms of funding systems or funding ecosystems?
Yeah. So what helps us is that we are very, very authentic in our approach, or you can say honest. If something isn't working, we will say it. And if it is, we will help to build on it. So every founder we work with is treated individually. There's no fixed formula, but some need help in refining their pitches. Some need help in preparing financial models. Some are just not ready to raise funds yet. We try to guide them step by step. And we also spend a lot of time listening to both the founders and investors so we understand what both sides are looking for, and that balance helps us to do our jobs better. So we are slightly different because we are the only investment bankers that do end to end everything for a founder to help them raise funds. And at times we do overwork for them also. So typically our agreement is 3 months, but we do work for over 3 months for the founder just to help them get the funds that they require.
Overwork as in what? If you could just simplify a bit.
So our agreements are usually 3 months, and we don't typically stop working after 3 months. If the work hasn't been completed or there is some delay, we extend our mandate to the 4th, 5th, and 6th month. And for that, we don't do any extra charges to the client.
No, I meant to ask like overwork as in how do you define like your deliverables into that work?
Adding addition 3 months to our agreement. Okay. So the agreement is only 3 months, but we usually add very gracefully we add additional 3 months of work to the client, give them extra 3 months. Okay. So that's like overworking for us.
Got it. So as someone who has worked in the global markets, right, what do you think is the difference between the startups that are emerging in this matured market, startups that are coming up from India and startups that are coming up from abroad?
The startups in emerging markets often have to deal with very basic issues.
Like?
Things like unclear regulations, limited funding accesses, and not having enough support networks. In more mature markets, those basics are already in place.
Okay.
And so founders can focus on competition, growth. And in emerging markets, founders are juggling into multiple problems at one time. With their products, with their operations, with their, compliances, and sometimes just keeping the business alive.
Okay.
And it's not easy, but it is also makes them more resourceful and hands-on. So I think this is the, differentiation between emerging markets and, already people who are well established.
Yeah. But then what is the difference that you see between the startups that are emerging from India and the startups that are coming up in abroad? Like, what is the difference? Because I'm sure you as a funding company or as a venture capitalist, I'm pretty sure that you might have been approached quite a lot from all over the globe, right? Like you have said, like you have worked in international markets, global markets, right? So what is the key difference that you find in Indian startups and international startups?
See, definitely, the abroad rules and regulations are more flexible and more acceptable. And in India, that is not, people are always struggling. The other thing is that Indian startups are a little bit unprofessional, that I would say, because they would text you any time of the day. Okay. If they won't see if it is night, morning, they don't follow work protocols. But in abroad, the startups, any startup you work with, they will follow your timings.
Okay.
And, they will particularly, not trouble you during the hours that you are off, especially Sundays or middle of the night. So these are some of the things. Apart from this, we might have heard of blockchain and crypto startups.
Yeah.
Those are readily acceptable in Singapore and Dubai, but not yet in India because of the rules and regulations. These are some of the differences that one faces. Other than that, I think in there is Indian founders are very much talented, but they tend to burn their money. So we've had founders that have bought cars with the investors' money. We've
Okay.
had founders that have treated cancer with the investors' money. So I think these things are a little bit unacceptable. You can also see the case of Blue Smart Caps, if you might have heard of.
Yeah.
So how they had a downfall. I think it was, any company in abroad in such a situation would have grown double, triple the times and not done these kind of things. So I think that is where we lack sometimes. And also, what happens is that it is not a fashion statement to have a startup, but I think now in India it has become a fashion statement and people want to burn their money
Or I should
instead
say
of.
that is it a fashion statement to have a startup and have a investor on board or have a funding capital and say that
Yeah,
what we raise so and so funds. Do you think that
yeah.
is a statement which people are catering to these days?
So what is happening is that people are having this ego war because they are not able to pivot. If you realize that for 1 year something is not working and you burned so much money already, I don't think you should go to try more. You should just quickly pivot and do something that is bringing you earning. I have seen people burn their hard-earned savings for 2 to 3 years and then not even having any success in the startup. So, I think one needs to get their business plans vetted by somebody senior in the industry. And we are not building startups just for the heck of it. We startups should be built because somebody is trying to solve a larger problem. Like if you look at Blue Smart, they were definitely trying to solve a larger problem. And hence they got so much recognition, they started getting funded. But that's when they misused the money and hence they had a very bad downfall. So I think these practices, don't help us succeed.
Okay.
I'm saying a founder can always draw salary.
Yeah.
Take money through that means instead of doing wrong things.
Yeah. Nee, this brings me to a question because you said that, funded startups sometimes, or the founders of these startups, they sometimes cater to, fulfill their own dreams, their own personal agendas with the, VC, with the funding that they have got, right? So
Yeah.
I have a question. Is it possible that if you as a funding company or if the VC gets to know that something like this has happened with the startup that they have funded, and they get to know about के founder ने अपने शौक पूरे कर लिए with the VC's money, right? So can a VC pull back all the investment, or is it still not that great of a practice that not many VCs get into all of this in detail?
See, if a founder buys a car with the investor's money, okay, now definitely the investor can file a case because there is a term sheet that is already in place before the money comes in.
Yeah.
And if the founder is not following those terms, I think they already are putting themselves in that loop of, the investor can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then nobody in the market will give them investments also.
Okay.
I mean, the company can even shut down.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what are the consequences? Like, how far can these things go?
Like companies can shut down, founders can fall into legal trouble. Founders can also, I think they can even go to jail because of this, because they are not following an agreement which is already in place. And somehow they have to pay back, whether they beg, borrow, or steal, they have to pay it back to the investor. Okay. There are lots of consequences. Anything you do today has consequences. Anything. whether it is good or bad. If you decide that today I want to feed 100 poor people, there are consequences. That means good consequences towards that. That then there will be five other people who will want to join you and want to contribute towards this. But if anything that you're doing and your conscious is not agreeing to it also, which is something incorrect, I think that everybody has to face the consequences, whether it's today or later. I have seen people really facing a lot of consequences for the wrongdoing. So I think it's very, very important that one thing also that we do, which is incorrect, we have to be prepared that what are going to be the consequences. It's not a simple thing that you can forget. Blue Smart has taken away employments of so many people who were dependents on them. There were so many wallets that were filled up with money. They've not returned those things. So they themselves have to face so many legal battles. So, I mean, short-term gain versus long-term gain makes a lot of difference. So I think.
No, I'll just bring in one thing here. So, for example, like in a recent interview, Vijay Mallyas had said that the ease of business in India is not what it seems like. It is really tough for people to do businesses in India. Okay. And it is really pretty simple with all the laws in place and everything internationally, anywhere abroad.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So how do you agree with this? Or do you agree with this? Or like what is your take on this?
I totally agree because let me give you one simple example.
Yeah.
If you are in Singapore and you eat something and you throw a wrapper on the road, you're going to get fined. You cannot do that. You cannot eat in the bus. You cannot eat in the metros. But here, how much ever you explain anybody, they're still going to spit. They're still going to throw wrappers. So nobody wants to really follow. They just want to rebel.
Okay.
You understand what I mean? So this is one thing, because nobody wants to follow any rules over here also. And also because there is so much corruption at each and every nook and corner that you cannot reach where you want to reach. It's not like simple thing like if you register your company in Dubai, everything is very simple. You register, you have a bank account, somebody over there takes care of it. There are laws and you can face severe consequences for that. But in India, it's not like that. So I think this is, this is very, very difficult also, because if anybody wants to set up a business, they have to go through 10 things first, and their process will slow down because there'll be some officer or somebody in the middle who's trying to, stop them or trying to slow down the process or wants bribe or something like that.
Yeah.
So I think these are simple things like if you feel that you're a responsible citizen today, you're not going to throw kachra everywhere, right? I mean, you're not going to just spit everywhere. But here, if you see, the taxi man would suddenly open the window door and start spitting, and misbehaving with women. So these kind of things you don't face in abroad. In Dubai, have you ever gone to Dubai? Then if you travel in a taxi, you feel very comfortable till 3 a.m. You can work like a man would work, and you'll not feel scared at all. You can do your meetings till 3 a.m. and get back home. So it's I have felt the ease of working in Dubai and India as well. I can work till 3 a.m. in Dubai. I cannot work till 3 a.m. in India. I stopped working at 8 in India. I wouldn't dare to pick up. Yeah, I cannot pick up my car at 8 and go and finish off a meeting or finish off a deal and come back by 12. I can't do that. I can do that in Dubai. I can sit till 3, I can finish everything, and next morning I can do something else.
Got it.
That's the difference.
Tell us something about any bad experiences that you have had as a VC company. Bad or probably worse, and and then probably they returned the money, or you couldn't figure out what happened, or anything like that.
See, I'll tell you the problem that we as investment bankers face is that if we are telling the founder that this should be a valuation, but they think that their valuation should be higher, this is one experience that we face regularly. Also, there are some startups that come to us with a very ambitious plan, but when we ask for supporting documents or data, they don't want to show us. And they're very sure about their success, about everything, but they have nothing to show. So eventually, what we have to do is we have to let them go. And there are some founders that don't want to share their financial documents as well with the investors or with us. That in that case, it gets very difficult for us. Like we had picked up a case where we were making documents of a company where the CA had valued the company for 125 CR.
Okay.
And wherein with our valuation report, it was coming to 75 CR. And we tried to explain to the founder that, look, your CA just tried to make you happy. And that's why they have given you that valuation. But the founder did not want to listen. Instead of listening to us, they started actually threatening us. And we had also a group of founders. There were 3 to 4 men. In their startup was very, very early pre-revenue stage, and we were trying to help them get the funds that they require. But they themselves didn't want to work towards scale up. But they expected that we could even strangle the investors and put hands in the investors' pocket and give them the money.
If you didn't see the potential, why would you do that?
So the thing is that, we also sometimes, when we dig into things, some things the founders don't tell us. So we are not at fault that time, because the founder is not telling us. Later on, when we come to know other things, like sometimes the founder wants money from the investor to make website. That is something unreasonable that they can do it themselves. They want every little thing. They don't want to take their own risk, but they want the investor to take the entire risk. That's when the investor backs off. So I think these are the some of the difficult startups that do come to us.
So and then probably any worse experience that you recall?
Not really, because I think I have done my work very efficiently. So I know how to tackle this point, that point. I know how to pin down my clients. If I know how to do my client management. So I think I've understood the juggle.
Understood the game, yeah. Okay, cool. So what is the one common mistake which startup founders make when they approach an investor? What do you think?
Like I mentioned before also, sometimes they themselves don't know their own business well enough. And they are not well aware of the numbers. They are quoting higher valuation. And sometimes they even tampering their own MISs, which naturally the investor will find out at some point or the other. And sometimes they focus too much on storytelling and not having enough of a substance. I think
please give us an example if you have.
I think sometimes, founders will go into this story. And we had one founder who had a well-established business for 2 to 3 years. They were making very good revenues. We made their decks, financial models, everything.
Yeah.
And when it came to giving out the data, of course, the next step for an investor is they will ask you for your MIs.
Yeah.
They will ask you for financial reports. Like how a bank would work also. Like if you go to a bank to ask for a loan, what will the bank say? Give me a bank statement, give me this, give me that. I'm going to check whether you're eligible for this much loan. It's the same way. But the founder refused. So I think because they didn't have proper data or they were tampering something, they didn't want to share the data. Nobody is going to give you 25 crores, 50 crores just like that.
Yeah.
There is definitely, you have to prove a point to the investors. It is also the investors' hard-earned money, I feel.
So what is the
that
storytelling part which you were saying? Like, what story did they bring it up? Or did they make it like, what the startup is going to, or our product is going to,
scale up, and
yeah,
we are the
go
best.
beyond the
And
sky and, do this impact and
yeah,
that impact. What is it?
when it comes to data, like every founder you speak to, I mean, I think I do almost 20 meetings in a day. They're so like speak wonderfully about their product, my product, this, that. But when it comes to giving the data, okay, hey, where's your data?
Yeah.
Sometimes at zero revenue, they are asking for 20, 3 million, 4 million, 25 crores, 10 crores. And I'm like, hey, you're not going to get this at zero revenue.
Yeah.
So I think some of the mistakes that they need to correct. The first money comes from their own network, family, friends,
Yeah.
angels. The
Yeah.
second money that comes in is from VCs. And they have to definitely scale up. At times you might not even need VC money because you're scaling up properly. Only when you feel that your growth has stopped to a certain point, like, every year you're just doing 5 crore of business and now you need some push. That's when you should go to a VC.
Hmm.
Like, you don't know how to grow further, like you're stuck at one point. So I think these are the different things that one should consider.
Okay, so Vandana ji, I would really like to ask or probably bring this up that with like how recently how with Vijay Malya coming back in the blogs, and there are chances probably that the media is talking about that all the fugitives who have gone or flew out of the country after the so-called scams or frauds are supposed to come back now and put across their side of the story, right? So all of this is giving out a narrative into the masses that it's so easy to fool around the banking system or to fool around the venture capitalist, to fool around the government and the rules and do the particular scam, the so-called scam, or do their thing, fly out, let the matters calm down, and then come back again and put out their side of the story and then gain sympathy and then let the tables turn around again. So do you think all
Hmm.
of this, the whole narrative that which is being set up, is kind of dangerous for us as a country, a for the banking system and for people like you or other venture capitalists? Like, is this a time that we all need to be like very 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 careful with whoever we're shelling out our time, our investment in terms of money and expertise and all of that?
See, actually, scams happen everywhere.
Mhm.
The only thing is that in India, the hype about it is a lot more
Okay.
on every news channel, and then something will get add on to that thing, and then something more will get add on, and then it will become
Yeah.
like a kitchen,
Yeah.
like a entire khichdi. So, in terms of Vijay Malya, see, he is quite brave enough to come on the podcast and clear everything. That this is what actually happened. This was what happened. This is how I cleared the money. This was what was involvement. This is what happened. So had he not been um, you know, had he not been clear about what was happening, he would have not come on the podcast. He would
Okay.
have ran away. That is one thing. Second thing is for Nirav Modi, he already got caught and he's still in the jail. And his entire documentary is also there, I think, on Netflix or somewhere. I've seen it.
Hmm.
So the thing is, so what happens is, like I mentioned, scams like Blue Smart also happen. Now, and this happens because money has actually no color.
Okay.
And I think somewhere down the lane, we have forgotten our moral values.
Uh-huh.
Somewhere down the lane, I think we are not, working with a very conscious mind,
Yeah.
with conscious efforts, with because everything will have consequences, and truth always prevails.
Yeah.
So, we will get companies that come, and we will not know that what scam they want to do. We will have investors who also come in with a lot of bad money. We don't know from where they got that money. So, I think these things will happen, but we cannot stop working, or we cannot really stop these things to happen, but we can, once we go through such an experience, we have to learn from that and not repeat it, or not let that happen to us. Like, what is it we learn from this? That is, I think, the lesson that we have to take. And I think in terms of Vijay Malya, he's been brave enough to come and speak about it, that look, I was this, I was not that. In terms of Nirav Modi, only when he comes on a podcast or he's released from jail, we know actually what happened, what went wrong. Because sometimes what is shown, what is projected to us is totally different than what is happening.
Yeah, obviously.
See, I think as businesses, we all take loans from banks, businesses. I know businesses that take ODs, that take investors' money and everything. Now, somewhere, a mishap can happen, that, something can go wrong. And sometimes people might do it intentionally. Sometimes they might do it unintentionally. But the point here is that everything is so high because the digital exposure is so much.
That is true.
You look at the Air India crash. It's been hyped so much that actually everybody is feeling like so bad about it. Of course, it's a real bad incident that happened, but it's like we don't know what exactly went wrong. We don't know what's the story behind it and how it turned out to be so tragic. But the thing is that we all are having these notions now. Okay, this might have happened, that might have happened, and assumptions and then guesses, and then. So I think these things need to stop. We need to be more empathetic. We cannot make memes around it and stuff like that. I've seen some memes around it as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's incorrect on our part to do such things. We can also see the case of ENY employee that actually was under so much pressure that she gave up her life.
Yeah.
Now, what is the upbringing that we are giving here? If you are under pressure, you have to speak to somebody and you just stop. The world will not come to an end. Like, everything is starting from our homes. I'll tell you, we have been conditioned. Blue is for boys, pink is for girls, soccer is for boys, doll is for girls. And we are conditioning everybody and, not helping them recognize their skills. You look at your homes, look at your colleges, look at your corporate institutes. How many of you help each other recognize your skills?
Exactly.
Instead of that, we are putting each other down.
Yeah.
So I think this all begins from what is the kind of upbringing also that we are giving. We have to, if we feel uncomfortable about something, we have to just stop. Parents should not force somebody to work in an organization if they are feeling pressured or cornered. I mean, I think that is one thing. And mental health, how many people are discussing that?
Very rare. Even though there is so much of awareness and so much of air about it now, but I don't think it has been discussed on a deeper level.
Like I have told my kids, you feel uncomfortable about something, just stop everything and come back. We'll see what happens. Like you don't have to really push yourself and, not speak about it. You're uncomfortable about something, just stop.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to be hard on yourself. What I'm saying is that we are being taught that, be hard on yourself. And that's it. Then you become the best version. It's not like that. And we also try to condition our children in that manner. That, let's be hard.
Yeah.
As much as possible. And, so I think these things really need to change. And scammers are everywhere. In abroad, they are more scammers, I can tell you, than in India.
Okay.
Uh, and you won't even imagine the kind of scams that happen. But the thing is, here it is more hyped up.
Do you think that the
You know,
media is
is
only to be blamed about? You say, okay, the conditioning is also there,
I
but
think it's
is it only the media that is to
everybody.
be blamed about?
I think the digital exposure is so much. Today, you can just start an Instagram page and start posting about anything,
Yeah.
and without having some research on it. Like even during COVID, I think people were not well researched. They
Yeah.
were just following anything, doing anything to people, killing people, doing this, doing that. So I think if you're not well researched, I think you should not believe the forwards and the posts. We don't know which is an actual media channel also nowadays.
Correct.
So I think these are, if you see something, like, I don't think everything needs a reaction. Sometimes you just have to, go with the flow and see whether it's actual the truth or not. Unless it's really like the actual truth. And truth always comes out. You can never hide the truth from
Yeah.
anywhere.
Yeah. But then, see, the
So
question was about like, the narrative that is being set now.
yeah.
Do you think like, is it now it seems easy, rather for a lot of people just to, scam around and walk away with it.
It's more difficult because so much digital exposure. The moment somebody scams, you can actually take a video. People even take videos. You must have seen any fight is happening, they start taking videos.
Yeah.
So there are actual CCTV cameras that record things. So I think it's not easy. I think it's more difficult. Maybe earlier it was more easy because these things were not there. I mean, during Nirav Modi's time, there was not so much exposure to digital media. It has only come into place after COVID.
Yeah.
After COVID happened, everybody went on digital, everybody learned Zoom, everybody learned Paytm, and, StreamYard, all these platforms. So I think that exposure is more and more wide now. Nobody will, just take anything. They can use social media, like even on LinkedIn, nobody can do anything. You can just post a screenshot anywhere and say, look, this person is writing this to me, or this client wrote this. You can expose anybody.
Yeah.
So I think it is reduced quite a lot. Also because of the fear of being exposed via social media, but also, because there is corruption, and that will, it's very difficult to eradicate that from the system. That we need everybody to be on the same page. How many police officers are not corrupted? How many judges that are not corrupted? You must have seen that case of a judge also that had come. So how do we stop? The whole thing is that, again, what goes back to is our conditioning. How do we eradicate it from the root? Only then we will be able to eradicate everything on the upper level.
So do
And
you think
to,
India as a country is not really completely, fully ready to be a superpower in terms of everything, not just entrepreneurship? Because entrepreneurship का boom तो पिछले 5 सालों में आया है, especially after, right? Like you said, the minute the digital world exploded, there were like a lot of people, and then came Shark Tank in picture, and then people actually got to know that okay, there is something called as funding also. Like India too was rarely aware about all of this, right? India one was always like very, very, well acknowledged about these terms, right? But if you see from a larger perspective, even I think sometimes that, like, no, it is still going to take a lot of time for us as a country to grow up there, not just in terms of, startups and, doing businesses and all, but like you said, like the root causes the conditioning, right? And then follows a lot of things. So what's your take on that?
I think our current government, Pradhan Mantri Ji Modi, is doing a lot of work and he's done a lot of changes.
Yeah.
I mean, he's never stopped that way. He's unstoppable. So I really admire that part about him and the way he's doing things. But I think there's still a little bit of long way to get there where we can really be streamlined and structured about everything. And I think that is one thing that we have to look forward to. But of course, I can see a lot of changes already happening. And things are being for entrepreneurship also, it came in only because COVID came.
Yeah.
Uh, I think that was the thing that people actually recognized. Okay, there is something called entrepreneurship. It didn't come in because of Shark Tank. I think Shark Tank is, I don't agree to a platform like Shark Tank. It is more scripted, I feel.
Okay.
So I think any scripted thing is definitely not what you should fall for. But of course, entrepreneurship is something like today, if I am a CFO of a company and I lose my job, I have the option to go to entrepreneurship. So I think those skill development classes have also come in. If you have seen that movie, Call Me Bay, in that she had so many skills that helped her at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So I think the focus on more than education should be more on forming skills.
Yeah.
If you don't have skills, you can't do anything. Today, if I have a skill of making chocolates, I can set up an entire business and sell those chocolates and, do things. So I think like everybody is talented in their own way. And the only thing why, the government encouraged this was that, hey, if you lose your job or if something tragic happens, you can switch to this. Life is not coming to an end. That was the message. But somewhere it did go in the wrong direction that everybody started leaving jobs and everybody thought, okay, startup is a buzz and they started burning their money into this thing. But if some people are very happy with their jobs, they earn 1 crore a month and they're very, very happy about it and they like it that way. Some people are not built to become entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Some people to do it because they feel that I don't want to be boxed in. I want to experience that, being on my own.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yes. So do you think like as you yourself as a woman entrepreneur or entrepreneur as a whole, right? Is mental resilience one of the qualities that you look out for in a startup founder whenever you have to decide if I should go ahead with this person or invest in that?
Yeah, I think it's very, very important to have certain qualities that will actually help you become a stronger person. Now, in all my talks, I always say that do read the book, Power of the Subconscious Mind, because it helps you keep your mind in center. And I try not to take a setback very personally. Setbacks happen to everybody. But I think that, when you outgrow that setback, because some things will work and some things might not work. And that's a part of the process. And when you bounce back, I think that's when you actually realize that you had so much more potential. And what keeps me motivated is seeing the work and, make a difference. Help a founder raise funds, watching a company grow after months of planning. And, it helps me also to be very grounded and focused. I think we need to really, I would just switch to the topic to a bit of what our thoughts play in this is also a very important role.
Yeah.
See, everything around us is because of our thoughts. Today, you think of a yellow butterfly, you will actually go and see a yellow butterfly. Today, you have not spoken to a person for so many years, and you think about them, your phone will ring. I think our thoughts also play an important part of what we attract and what we don't attract. So I think, somewhere you have to keep clearing your subconscious mind and your thoughts. And what are the things that you're attracting through the universe? That plays an important role. And as in when you grow up in the journey, you tend to tone down more. You become more patient. You become more calm because you know how to handle stuff. And I think there will be fallbacks, but the thing is, you need to be able to bounce back. That's enough. I mean, you cannot just give up and say, "Look, I can't." You have so many cases where people have lost their legs, their hands, but they are still doing wonders. How they bounce back. So I think this is what quality that failure is actually the stepping stone to greatness. There was a point when uh, everybody stopped talking to me. All my relatives, everybody, all my friends. I had only myself and my two little kids. But the thing is that because I looked at more doors, I did not look at closed doors. So I think universe opened a lot many more doors. And today the people who didn't want to speak to me actually ring me up
Yeah.
and talk to me because they've seen you grow. So I think your work should speak for yourself. So
Is it
this is
work
one.
that you are pinpointing to, or is it that what do you say, that mental strength that you're pinpointing to, or is it that your ambition in life becomes to be a better person? Does that help?
You have to push out the negativity from your environment, and just have to focus on your work and what you're doing and your goals. Once you do that, automatically people will look at it and stop. The ones who stop talking to you will actually start chasing you.
Yeah.
They'll start feeling like threatened inside, that, oh, how did this happen, how did that
Correct.
happen? At
Correct.
some point they might have insulted you for something, but when they see you grow, they'll say, oh, how did this happen? So the thing is, you actually don't have to give back to anybody. When certain things happen, you have to give back with the work, give back with what you're doing, give back with your success, maybe give it back to them silently, like this,
Basically, you're saying
really.
channelize all your anger, frustration, everything into work so that it
Yeah, into
multiplies
being
into
productive.
progress.
Yes, yes. So progress will help you. Like, I remember when the first time I got the award of Best Financial Institution, there were five men investment bankers in the room, and I was the only woman. And I thought, why will I get it? I mean, I've not like really done so much, and I was walking out of the room when my name was announced. Out of that, one investment banker actually started writing messages to me on LinkedIn saying, "Hey, you come out, I'll show you." I'm like, "Show me?" Like, how did you win? So things like that, we see things like these also happen. Now, you don't have to really, what you just have to just ignore that and
Yeah.
move on, because for you have to see the larger picture.
Yeah.
These are small things that you have to just sideline, and you have to come out of that shallowness and be a greater person and just move away from that and move in the direction that you choose to will make you win.
Yeah.
And you will see that one after the other you will keep getting wins.
That
That
is
one
true.
win, suddenly you'll get another win, and then the third win and the fourth win, and you'll say, oh, I didn't expect this. Oh, what happened? Like, will be like you actually you will keep getting a shock.
Yeah,
you know
surprises, sweet surprises.
yeah, yeah, sweet
Yeah.
surprises. So I
Yeah.
think that's the whole thing.
Okay.
Focus on everything, everything that is productive, everything that is positive, everything that you need to be grateful about.
With the
I think
experience
that,
that you just said right now, like, you were only the one woman, getting an award,
yeah,
or probably nominated, and others were all men, right? You and me, we both know, or probably the viewers, the audience listening also know that in the corporate world, the ratio of men to women is still not, has come to even this, it is still this.
yeah,
Yeah, no?
yeah.
So, what is that one thing or one advice that you would like to give to other women entrepreneurs who are wanting to be there and trying to make a difference, at least to their lives, by doing something or by creating a business? Because I personally feel, or what is your take on this, that is the corporate world yet not ready to have a lot many women leaders?
See, I think others' opinions should not shape us.
Hmm.
And anybody who's criticizing us is only doing so because they are doing less than us. Now, what happens is that we are being conditioned that woman has to take a back seat. Woman has to take a back seat after marriage. Women have to take a back seat after having kids, or they are more caregivers
Yeah.
than to be in the corporate world. So sometimes they themselves take a back seat
Yeah.
because of these issues. But I think also because somewhere somebody is trying to break their confidence down instead of pushing them to a certain level, that somebody at home is saying something to them which is breaking them down. So I think when you stop letting others' opinions shape you and you make your own decision, whether it's with money or anything, you just make your own decisions. You'll make mistakes, but then you will learn through that. So I think that is what one message that I want to give to women is that don't let anybody define you. Don't keep looking for validations. Like, uh, just keep going in the direction that you want to, because sometimes you are looking up to your father for your validation.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're looking up to your brother, sometimes to your boyfriend or husband or children. Don't have to really do that. The moment you start proving yourself, I think you don't need to look for that. Because that is actually going to put you more down.
Yeah.
So I think women need to take a stand somewhere that, look, this is what I need to do. This is what I can do, and just take a stand and move on. And don't let that people define you all the time. And I think, like for me, I don't have a backing of a father, husband, boyfriend, anybody. I'm a self-made woman. So I think you need to make your own decisions, whether it's good or bad, what it is, whether you fall off, whatever it is, you just have to take that stand.
So basically, take a stand for your own self.
Own self. And in that, you will lose out many people.
Yeah.
And you'll have to just stand alone. But then you yourself will know, like, you have made the right decision. Like for me, after a few years of my success, and I was sitting by myself, and I realized that I was always correct, but I was not believing myself. Like, like I
Yeah.
said, oh,
Yeah.
like I was not wrong, like I was okay. Like, so I think that you have to, that takes a while for that to hit you also. Oh,
Yeah, because you said the conditioning, because we have been conditioned so much to be submissive and
yeah,
and not be very pessimistic about ourselves. Like, what, even I can be right. वो हमारे अंदर वो डाला ही नहीं गया है. So for us
right,
to
right,
come out and decide for our own self, even if it's the smallest thing, that what, I was right. That
yeah.
that takes apparently a lot of years for a lot of women to come to understanding too.
So that's the reason why from the beginning one should, parenting is something that I
Yeah.
will go back to here, is let your kids make some decisions. Like we are force feeding them with milk, we are force feeding them what to eat, what to wear, how to do, what to do. So I think then the decision making power becomes less,
Yeah.
and they are not brought up as confident children. So I think this is what I think there's a whole another session that we could do on parenting.
100%. But it was
Definitely.
wonderful talking to you. I think we touched base with a lot of things in today's episode. And I'm pretty sure I hope you also enjoyed this conversation as much as I did.
Definitely. I mean, the questions were wonderful and they were different than what the other people usually ask me. And I'm grateful that, you chose me to be on your podcast. And I think it was definitely, I hope the message reaches to maximum number of people. And even if one person's life can change through one podcast, I think it's a big difference.
Yes. That is all what I'm here for.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Vandana ji, for your lovely time, for your valuable time, and for your lovely, advice, I would say, or, the snippets that you shared, the insights that you had to, share out. I'm really grateful.
Thank you. Same here and have a good day.